Everyone has dignity and value as a human being.
Being different can't be the reason for discrimination.
Understanding the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
We have the right to learn, work, and be healthy. From time to time, I wonder, what is happiness that we all dream of? I think it is experiencing the world full of fascinating things. Working while getting recognized for your ability. And enjoying things you like. Although we study, go to work, watch movies in a theater, and work out in our daily lives, there are times when persons with disabilities experience troubles in the routine activities in their daily lives. It is because of the lack of social perception that everyone needs to be happy. You've probably all heard a news report about residents opposing the establishment of special schools. How about getting a job? Some experience difficulties in getting a job just because of having a disability. If there is no support for persons with visual disabilities or hearing disabilities, it makes them hard to watch a movie. When anyone can learn, work, and enjoy their lives, I believe that we will all be happier. Let's find out what efforts there are to create a world where everyone can be happy. In this lecture, we will learn about Article 24, Education, Article 25, Health, Article 26, Habilitation and Rehabilitation, Article 27, Work and Employment, and Article 30, Participation in Cultural Life, Recreation, Leisure, and Sport. Article 24, Education.
A becomes 8 years old this year. He was very excited that he became old enough to go to elementary school. The special school that A will attend has perfect classes, teachers, facilities, etc. But because this school was located at a place where it took at least 1 hour by car from home, commuting to school every day was hard work for A. But one day, it has been reported on a news that a special school was going to be established in the neighborhood where A lives in. A and his parents were very happy. After a short moment of joy, the residents protested against the establishment of the special school, not wanting a school for persons with disabilities in their neighborhood. A and his parents are longing for this problem to be solved well.
A and his parents must be very disappointed. If there were a positive perception on inclusive education, where persons with and without disabilities can be educated together, such incident might have not occurred. For persons with disabilities, education is a basic right that encourages persons with disabilities to participate in society. However, it is also true that they were neglected from education due to their disabilities. To solve these problems, Article 24, Education, was created in the UN CRPD. If we look at the article, in order for persons with disabilities to realize their rights to education without discrimination and on the basis of equal opportunity, an inclusive education system and lifelong learning should be ensured. Especially, children with disabilities shall not be excluded from free and compulsory primary education or from secondary education. Additionally, to facilitate their full and equal participation in education, they should be able to learn life and social development skills. And for the realization of this right, states parties shall employ teachers, including teachers with disabilities, and who are qualified in sign language and/or Braille, and ensure that persons with disabilities are able to access general tertiary education, vocational training, adult education, and lifelong learning. This article is meaningful in that it encourages equal social participation between persons with and without disabilities through inclusive education, by developing various potential of persons with disabilities. Through this inclusive education, disabilities can be perceived as part of diversity. Human rights and dignity of persons with disabilities can be ensured and respected, and the right to education for persons with disabilities can be promoted. Article 25. Health. I have 2 sons. My second son has a developmental disability. Recently, my son needed to receive treatment at the dentist, which was an extremely difficult process. Not everything can be treated at the dentist. If he has a cavity, we have to find a dentist who can treat persons with disabilities. Persons without disabilities get treated at the first medical examination. But in case of my son, since he requires anesthesia before treatment, we must book an appointment separately. The dentist says that we can only make an appointment 3 months later. Asking the reason behind it, they said that there are appointments far behind due to the shortage of anesthesiologists at the dentist treatment center. I have been so anxious for 3 months since the cavities need to be treated as soon as possible. My son keeps whining that it hurts. Moreover, the treatment fee is expensive because of anesthesia. All of these make me frustrated. I believe that these situations violate the right to health of persons with disabilities. Whether we know it or not, there are a lot of people who have trouble in receiving treatment like this story. It's very frustrating, don't you think? Health is a more urgent matter for persons with disabilities because it is related to their disabilities. In order to ensure the right to health and rehabilitation, Article 25 Health was created. This article states that persons with disabilities have the right to enjoy health without discrimination, and states parties need to ensure access to health services that are gender-sensitive, including health-related rehabilitation. Specifically, appropriate early identification and intervention and services designed to minimize further disabilities should be provided. And health services should be provided as close as possible to people's own communities. Health professionals should provide care of the same quality to persons with disabilities as to others on the basis of raising awareness of the human rights, dignity, autonomy, and the needs of persons with disabilities. Additionally, discrimination against persons with disabilities in the provision of health insurance and life insurance, where such insurance is permitted by national law, should be prohibited, and discriminatory denial of health care or health services on the basis of disability should be prevented.
I have a question. Does health services for persons with disabilities aim to minimize disability?
It means more than that. Within the health services for persons with disabilities, not only are there methods for minimizing existing disabilities, but they also include the area of sexual and reproductive health and rehabilitation, the early identification of disability, and the prevention of further disabilities as appropriate. Shall we solve a quiz? What is not a correct statement about the right to health of persons with disabilities? A. They have the right to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health without discrimination on the basis of disability. B. Discrimination in the provision of health insurance and life insurance shall be prohibited. And C. Health services shall be provided in metropolitan areas, not in the communities where persons with disabilities belong to. What is your answer? The answer is C. Article 25, Health, states that health services shall be provided as close as possible to people's own communities, including in rural areas. Article 26, Habilitation and Rehabilitation. Miss J got a job at a fast food chain. Miss J's parents have worked hard to educate her child considering her disabilities. They were very proud that she was able to start work as part of society. The owner of the fast food chain assigned her cleaning the store and greeting customers, and she worked hard to fulfill her task, going across the store. But the problem was the owner of the fast food chain. The owner, who lacked understanding of persons with disabilities, said that he would only provide lunch if she fulfilled her work, treating her like a child, though lunch shall be provided to all employees at the cost of their work. Miss J followed the instructions of her boss. She cleaned and greeted customers without taking any minute of break. Miss J's mother was heartbroken to see her daughter work like that. She was sad to see the owner of the fast food chain lacking understanding of persons with disabilities. What do you think is the true rehabilitation of persons with disabilities? True rehabilitation of persons with disabilities would be living independently as a member of society by making the most of one's ability using physical ability and talent, don't you think? However, like the case of Miss J, some people don't see persons with disabilities as independent human beings, but as people who need to be trained like children, which is completely wrong. To improve such perception, Article 26, Habilitation and Rehabilitation, was created. Shall we take a look? States parties shall take effective and appropriate measures to enable persons with disabilities to attain and maintain maximum independence, full physical, mental, social, and vocational ability, and full inclusion and participation in all aspects of life. Additionally, continuing training shall be provided for professionals and staff working in habilitation. States parties shall promote the availability, knowledge, and use of assistive devices and technologies designed for persons with disabilities, as they relate to habilitation and rehabilitation. Shall we solve a quiz? Because of the perception that Article 26, Habilitation and Rehabilitation, must not be confined in the blank area, it was not included in Article 25, Health. What is the correct answer for the blank? A. Medical. B. Vocational. What is your answer? The answer is medical. Since the rehabilitation of persons with disabilities means more than medical rehabilitation, it was treated as an independent article rather than being included in Article 25, Health. Article 27, Work and Employment. People of Korea have the duty and right to work. Korea's minimum wage in 2021 is 8,720 Korean won. All Koreans are insured to receive minimum wage. But there are people who are not guaranteed a minimum wage. According to statistics from 2018, among persons with disabilities working at vocational rehabilitation institutions, 9,413 of them could not receive a minimum wage. Their average monthly wage was only 370,000 Korean won. The OPDs are requesting the state or local government to make public workplaces where persons with severe disabilities can work. The Seoul Metropolitan Government replied by saying they will provide jobs to 200 persons with severe disabilities. Still, there is a long way to go. This can be found in the statistics as well. Among the 2.52 million registered persons with disabilities aged over 15 in Korea, 62.7% are classified as economically inactive. 77.4% of persons with severe disabilities are economically inactive. When will the right to work be ensured for persons with disabilities? What is the right that is ensured the most in international covenants? It is the right to work. But the discrimination of persons with disabilities is the most severe in the labor market. To prevent this kind of discrimination, Article 27, Work and Employment, was created. Shall we take a look? States parties shall recognize the right of persons with disabilities to work on an equal basis with others. Specifically, discrimination on the basis of disability with regard to all matters concerning all forms of employment should be prohibited. And persons with disabilities should be able to exercise their labor and trade union rights. Persons with disabilities should be ensured to have effective access to vocational guidance programs and vocational training. And opportunities for self-employment, entrepreneurship, and starting one's own business should be promoted. Persons with disabilities should be employed in the public sector, and employment in the private sector should be promoted through affirmative action programs.
I have a question. What does affirmative action programs mean here?
Affirmative action programs are preferential treatment for social minorities in employment opportunity, treatment, and vocational training in order to ensure their poor social status with practical equality. For example, to prevent discrimination in employment, preferential treatment is given to persons with disabilities. Shall we solve a quiz? What is not a correct statement about the right to work for persons with disabilities? A. They have the right to choose their jobs on an equal basis with others. B. Although they are able to join and be active in a labor union, they have limitations in unionizing. And C. They have the right to work in a safe and healthy environment. What is your answer? The answer is B. Persons with disabilities also have the right to organize a labor union. Article 30. Participation in cultural life, recreation, leisure, and sport. We all enjoy watching movies, TV series, and sports. How good would it be if we all could enjoy that together? Although various multimedia devices are coming out, many persons with disabilities still experience difficulties in their cultural lives. So Article 30, Participation in cultural life, recreation, leisure, and sport was created. Shall we take a look at this article? Persons with disabilities have the right to take part in cultural life on an equal basis with others. For this, persons with disabilities should have access to cultural materials, cultural activities such as movies and plays, cultural performances such as theaters and museums, and access to sites of national cultural importance. Additionally, appropriate measures to develop and utilize their creative, artistic, and intellectual potential should be taken. States parties shall take appropriate measures to enable persons with disabilities to participate in recreational, leisure, and sporting activities.
I see. I've once read a term, barrier-free movie, from a news article. I want to learn more about what it means.
First of all, what does barrier-free mean? Barrier is an obstacle, and free means without. So barrier-free means removing physical and institutional barriers to create a society where everyone can live well. A barrier-free movie means that there are subtitles and audio description, so persons with visual and hearing disabilities can all enjoy. That is, all the visual elements are provided with audio description for persons with visual disabilities. And for persons with hearing disabilities, the subtitles show who is speaking the dialogue, what kind of background music and sound effects are being played. Shall we solve a quiz? What is the article that must be followed and ensured, along with the right to participate in cultural life? Choose 2 correct answers. A. Article 9, Accessibility. B. Article 11, Situations of Risk and Humanitarian Emergencies. C. Article 18, Liberty of Movement and Nationality. And D. Article 21, Freedom of Expression and Opinion and Access to Information. What is your answer? The answers are A and D. To participate in cultural life, accessibility to information such as cultural material, access to cultural life, recreational and sporting venues, and access to information required for cultural and artistic activities must be ensured, right? Also, the freedom of expression and opinion must be ensured since various cultural and artistic activities require expressing and delivering personal thoughts and feelings. The right to learn, work, and enjoy healthy. Let's summarize these rights again. Article 24. Education. Persons with disabilities have the right to education without discrimination. Article 25. Health. Persons with disabilities have the right to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health without discrimination. Article 26. Habilitation and Rehabilitation. Persons with disabilities have the right to use comprehensive habilitation and rehabilitation services and programs in the areas of health, employment, education, and social services. Article 27. Work and Employment. Persons with disabilities have the right to work without discrimination. Article 30. Participation in cultural life, recreation, leisure, and sport. Persons with disabilities have the right to take part in cultural life.